I've been meaning to make this video for a little minute, and I saw a comment on TikTok that made me want to make it even more because it reminded me how much I absolutely hate this matchup in RWBY. I hate Cinder versus Jean, not because of the outcome or the choreography, but because of something way deeper. Time and time again, this matchup robbed us of fights that would have not only been more entertaining, but would have made sense. RWBY versus Cinder, Team RWBY versus Cinder, these are matchups that we should have gotten by either the end of Volume 3 or in the Battle of Haven, and they wasted it. Cinder changed the whole plan to get back at RWBY, and literally the first thing she does is attack her before even stepping into the room. And it's not like it's not on site for RWBY too. She watched Cinder kill her friend. It's a mutual hate relationship. These two are supposed to be mutual enemies, and they've been building up this rivalry since Volume 1. Now try to remember a decent rivalry conversation they've had. I can't even really think of anything off the top of my head, so they not only wasted fight scenes with Jean, but they also wasted dialogue with him instead of with RWBY. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand them playing Jean against her. Cinder killed his teammate, friend, and potential love interest, and that is a big connection between these two characters. It is a big connection, but that is the only connection. Meanwhile, RWBY is the main character, and she's also seen Cinder kill her friend, and they've been building this up since Volume 1. So yeah, I completely understand them doing this curb stomp between Cinder and Jean, but they could have at least made it more entertaining. I understand Cinder putting in absolutely no effort in this fight, that makes sense, but the choreography is not it. There are some frames that look fine, like Cinder easily blocking Jean, but other than that, the fight is so slow-paced and sluggish. When this could have actually been a devastating beatdown, this could have been the most one-sided, brutal fight in RWBY. But it's just Jean getting knocked down over and over again, and it can hardly be considered a fight. I don't even think Cinder broke his aura. Imagine a fight being so one-sided that the other person doesn't even bother to touch you. Like, yeah, it's really disrespectful, especially with how little effort she's putting into the fight, but it makes the stomp boring when it's this slow-paced. And it makes it less impactful when Jean comes out of it with no broken aura, no injuries, no anything. And like I said before, them doing this encounter does make sense. It would feel weird for Jean and Cinder not to interact during this volume. They had so many fights that could have been good in this volume. Crow versus Raven, Blake and Sun versus Adam, Yang versus Mercury, the rematch, Weiss versus Emerald, Weiss versus Renal, that was terrible. But no, we had to cut all that short so that we could show crumbs of this curb stomp right here, along with a Weiss near-death experience. Imagine having RWBY and Cinder in their best outfits in the entire series. Cinder changes the plan specifically to get revenge on RWBY. The two have this grudge together, and RWBY is in a state of mind where she wants to fight Cinder too, just to have them never fight. Yeah, no, now that Team RWBY's back together, I didn't want to see a cool team fight between Team RWBY and the second biggest villain in the whole series. I wanted to see Cinder versus Jean. Yeah, I'm sure that's way more entertaining to watch. That's much more action-packed. I'm sure Jean has a really good chance of beating Cinder. The same person who killed Osmond, by the way. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be nuts to butts action that everyone's dying to see. You know, when the time skip happened, I thought I genuinely missed something because Arthur kept taunting Cinder about losing to a child, and I was thinking, wait, did those two actually fight before she actually used her silver eyes? But no, RWBY and Cinder didn't have some final battle in Volume 3. I don't know what Arthur expected her to do in that situation. They've been teasing RWBY versus Cinder since the early intro, and those few seconds of her fighting the whole team were so smooth. Do more of this. How do you tease us with this and have that fight literally get cut short just so we could get Cinder versus Jean again? Writers, please give us Team RWBY versus Cinder. I am begging you not to do this fight again. Please do not let this be some build-up so that Jean could kill Cinder.